Welcome back to the Untrained Outdoorsman podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Jake Fleischman. I just want to take a minute and recognize all of our great partners who continue to make this podcast possible and support us. So I understand that some of you are going to want to just skip right to the episode. You can go right ahead and do that. Just skip ahead a few minutes and hope you enjoy this episode. For the rest of you, I want to just go down the list and recognize our partners. I'll throw up the discount codes that we offer as well. Don't worry, for those of you who are listening to the audio version, just look down in the description. The discount codes will be listed right underneath each partner. In no particular order: Hunter's Blend Coffee, Osseo Gear, Breck Broadheads, Catalyst Archery, The Amsteel Guy, and Hunt Arsenal. So those are the list of our great partners. If you go on their website and make an order, use that discount code. It just shows them that we sent you their way. Keep this podcast growing, letting us continue to do what we do. I appreciate you just sticking around for a couple minutes. But more importantly, I really appreciate every listener and all the support you give us. You guys are the real reason that we do this and want to put out good content for you. So that's all I got, and I hope you enjoy today's episode.
All right, Mr. Jesse.
Mr. Jacob. How's it going, buddy?
Not too bad. How about you?
Good.
Well, I figure we'd sit down and just go run down, be like a quick episode, just like something a little bit different. We'll run down our bow setups for this year because we both built our bows up this last week. And I wanted to mention too, I posted on the YouTube channel the full build of mine. We didn't get to yours, but that'll be in the future. I just wanted to break down how I set up a bow and that, and go over some of the features of the bow that we both decided to shoot this year. And I figured it'd be kind of nice to back that video version up with some of the equipment and why we chose it, why we chose the bows we did, what our thought process was when choosing a new bow, and just a little bit like that. It doesn't have to be a super in-depth conversation, but just run them both down and maybe answer some questions on why we picked what we did. So if you want to go first.
I'll start her off. So I got the Tritech 31. Came with a kickstand on the bottom. Right now I'm running a 14-inch bar out front. Not really sure for weight yet. I will putz with weight come either springtime or if I get inside and shoot much. I do not have a sidebar on it, but I also don't shoot with a sidebar. I like to have an offset mount and then just a mass of weight down here to try to eliminate a sidebar and just keep stuff closer to the bow for hunt. Long stabilizer, I just kind of come from a long target background in target archery, so I just am comfortable with having that, and it doesn't really bother me. 3-pin vertical sight. It's also adjustable straight up and down for, if you need to adjust it. I hardly ever touch it outside of just shooting in the yard. Q80 Ultra Rest. It's just a bulletproof hunting rest. You really can't hurt it. Cool thing that I added is a piece of metal. Just some real thin metal strapping. I came and just bent it in a hook. I see bow companies, or actually saddle companies, make these now. I made this. I've had this on two or three different bows already. Just to hook in like your molly webbing around the tree. Always stays on the bow so you can hang it on the tree, pick it up. It just eliminates having to have a bow hanger on, screw it into the tree, or another piece of plastic or something hanging off that. So I like to just kind of keep everything compact. I haven't got a new quiver yet. I still, like I said, got to get my offset bracket on. But I'll touch base real in depth on a lot of that stuff in my bow build video. So that's kind of what I got going on with mine. Waiting for some new arrows to get here. Be making an arrow build video also. But for the most part, I got the meat and potatoes of it all figured out.
Yeah, and for people listening on the audio version and not seeing it, you can more than likely go over to YouTube and look at the video version here. Jesse kind of ran down everything and pointed everything out. And like I said, we already have one video out breaking down mine kind of, but I'll go over mine quick too. And then we'll talk about maybe in depth a little bit about like some of the accessories we have and why we like them and why we went with the bow we did and stuff like that. So, I also have a Darton Tritech 31, same bow stand. That Darton makes it super cool when you're out shooting in the yard, not having to put one on and off every time. It's pretty low profile and pretty solid. You can just shoot with it on. In a hunting scenario, I don't think, unless I was in a ground blind, would ever really use it in a hunting scenario per se. But if you need it, it doesn't take too long to put out. But and then as far as we'll just go right up from the bottom, a 12-inch, or I'm running a 12-inch stabilizer out the front. This is a micro diameter stabilizer, and it's 12-inch. I usually run a 12 or a 15 typically, and I usually don't run a back bar. I have run back bars in the past, but I think me and you talked about it, and like we've both kind of transitioned to just a front bar of some sort. And if we do run a sidebar, more of like a offset bar, not necessarily a long one hanging off the back. It just for hunting scenarios and hunting in saddles and in the woods, and it just makes the most sense to just have things as low profile as you possibly can have them. So I'm running just a 12 volt front, but I'm running it on a, if you can see it, offset bracket. So it just puts it off to the left, like an inch and a half. So it kind of acts as like a offset bar. So it just keeps that weight just a touch to the left, eliminating the need for a back bar. And it's a hunting bow. It's not like a target bow. If it was a target bow, I'd probably run a back bar. But for my purposes, it just keeps the weight down, keeps everything low profile to the bow. Like you said, I'm not really, I got to shoot it a lot more to figure out what weight I'm going to run on the end of it. I have 4 ounces on it right now. I'll probably shoot that until I get a little, a little squirrely, and I'll end up probably adding an ounce or two, depending. I'm not going to go crazy with the weight just because it's a hunting bow. So, but yeah, then the rest, same rest as you, the QAD, like you said, it's micro adjustable, and the thing's pretty much bulletproof. Not a lot of moving parts. And with the cable, we'll talk about it maybe a little bit, why we chose this type of rest. But I've shot limb drivens and stuff too, but this just is a lot better for my style of hunting. And then lastly, I have a HHA 2-pin, not a lot of moving parts. They're all 3 axes is adjustable. And I just wanted something, I've always been kind of between a 1-pin and a multi-pin. I've run a 3-pin slider like you run for a couple of years, but I like 3 pins too. I just like how this 2 pins on the same post, like a vertical. You don't have like a bunch of horizontal pins. So, and I'm running that on the front pick mount, so everything's pretty in line. And kind of like Jesse said too, I don't have a quiver figured out yet. I don't really know what I'm gonna run. That's kind of like the last thing I worry about. I don't shoot with my quiver on, so it's kind of just something to hold arrows. Like I want something that's not gonna break, but if it's as I usually go by, if it can fit the diameter arrows I'm running, seem like it'll hold up to me busting through brush, and then an easy and quiet on and off method. I mean, that's pretty much all I really look at, because I mean, I don't really shoot. I take it off right away anyways. It's pretty much just to carry arrows to and from the stand. So, but yeah, that's my setup. We have a video out on YouTube on me building it and kind of everything that went into that. But yeah, we both chose the same bow. I shot everything prior to deciding on one. And that's usually what I do each year or when I'm deciding on a new bow, I'm very like unbiased on what I shoot. Usually everything down the rack, whatever feels best for me and whatever has the features I want. I kind of go with that. I'm known to kind of shoot something different every year. And usually if I shoot it, I believe that that's the best bow for me that year. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thought process on it. What feels good to me, what has good speeds, um, for my draw length. Like I have a 28.5 inch draw, something with, I like a shorter bow. Like I went with a 31. I could have easily went with a 33. I just felt like I shot a couple 33 and 34-inch model bows and they just felt long to me. They felt like a target bow to me. And with my style, I want to shoot the shortest bow I can that doesn't have like a really bad string angle or is really harsh. If I can shoot it well and it holds good for me and the string angle's good, I want the shortest bow I can with those features. I think it's a 31, 32 is a good length for me in my draw length. Um, but I don't know, something about this Tritech is it just held really well for me being as short as it is. So
Yeah, I'm excited to hunt with it this year. I do like shorter axle to axle poles for bow hunting. Coming off of a 29-inch axle to axle bow, so I actually went up a few inches this year, but I don't really notice it a whole heck of a lot in the hand. I feel like it feels a lot of like the same as my bow that I had last year, so I feel like it'll be an easy adjustment over. But I've shot
yeah,
enough
like
bulls. I mean, it's not like it's going to be something so foreign to me that I'm not going to like it. But obviously, I chose the bull for a reason because I shot it a lot and I did like it. So I'm
yeah,
excited to put many of arrows through it.
yeah. And it's a tough decision when people are getting a bow. Like be open to anything because I didn't know when I went in. Like I know Darton has a good reputation and they're make really good stuff, but I mean they're not really the number one bow you think of when you walk into a shop buying a new bow. That's just the way they don't market a lot. They don't, you know, but they own all the patents in the industry
Yeah,
almost. Like
they're oldest in the game.
yeah. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. It's just they kind of are under the mindset of we build good stuff and it's going to speak for itself. We don't need to pour a bunch of money into marketing or whatever. So, I mean, I'm been super impressed with how easy the setup was on it, and I mean, essentially, once you figure out what you got to do to manipulate it to get it to tune for you, like three, 4 shots, and it was, good to go. Um, yeah, they seem like they're made very well. It's not like seems like all the components and everything are good on them, and
No, I can't see anywhere where they cheaped out on it at all. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to cheap out on it, but I've also seen other bow companies cut corners where you really shouldn't cut corners. And this thing looks pretty damn solid.
yeah, I mean, everything from the finish to all the components, like, I mean, you're not
Just
going to
a
strip
thought,
any.
just a thought process around a lot of the stuff on this bow.
It has everything like tunability, like that. Everybody's going towards tunability now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's plenty of companies that have a tunable bow, but I mean, there's some things that on here that are just they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Like if you think about them, they have a purpose and they're
Yeah.
very solid. I mean, all of them are really good components. Like all of them have locking screws or whatever, and they're all, you know, take an Allen wrench. It's pretty like user friendly. It seems like for someone who wants to work on their own stuff, that's what kind of. I mean, they look great. They seem like they're built well. They hold well. They shoot well. you're getting good speed, as good as speeds out of these at the specs as anything else at 31 inches or whatever at your draw
Mhm.
length. The one thing that impressed me, they have their comfort setting and your speed setting, and just like the feet per second you get with the speed setting, but it doesn't ruin the draw cycle. It seems like a lot of bows that have an option to have like a speed mod or like increase your speed somehow, then it just ruins like a nice draw cycle,
Yeah,
which
it
this
usually
bow didn't at all.
I found in bows that you can switch over into that. They load up a lot faster, and it's just too hard to pull back. I mean, for hunting now maybe if I was hunting a warmer climate all the time,
Yeah.
and I was constantly loose, it wouldn't be so bad. But you can't really have a stiff drawing bow when it's below zero, or not below zero, below freezing, 40-degree days where you're stiff.
I can see like, and it's hard to tell, because usually when a bow feels really good at your first few shots, you're only going to get more comfortable as you
Yeah,
shoot it more. So I feel like it feeling this good now, like once you have how many 3D tournaments and however many arrows you put through it in the summer,
yeah,
you're going to build those muscles back that you use to shoot, and that draw is going to be even, you're not even going to notice it at all.
yeah. And I'd be curious, and I might do it just for myself. Shoot this bow until middle of summer, and for my own entertainment, flop them mods out and put the comfort mods back in without touching anything else, and just see how much easier
Difference.
it is.
Because really, I mean, you could do that interchangeably, and it shouldn't really change your.
It shouldn't change your tune, I would not think.
No, I wouldn't think. I
Your
mean,
your draw length's the same, your arrow's the same, your feet per second are different. All that's going to do is, in my brain, just change your spine a little bit, but I don't think it would throw it out of tune.
it's 6 to 8 feet per second. If the mods are the only thing you change. I was getting 9 with my arrow, but I think that was just like a one-off. I think it's more like you're averaging 7-ish feet per second just by the mods. But I mean,
Oh,
it maybe would affect your draw length and let off like just the slightest bit, but I really don't think
yeah. Well,
it's going to be that different.
I'll shoot it. I'll shoot it through paper, and then I'll take everything off, flip it over, and see if anything does change.
Be curious,
So,
yeah.
say if a guy wanted to flip, shoot performance mods all winter, whatever target league or indoor league,
Or when
and
it
wanted
yeah.
gets the hunting season, flip it over and not have to worry about checking tune or whatever, which you probably should no matter what, but
Right. Or
not
for
be.
a guy that's going to hunt out west early in the year and going to shoot those longer distances, wants more feet per second.
Mhm.
And then later in the year, he gets, late season here where it gets cold and bows aren't the funnest to draw. If that's a little bit extra or a little bit more comfortable to shoot,
Yeah, you have that ability all in one bow.
and you're only shooting 20, 30 yards, like it ain't might mess up your sight a little bit, but not.
Yeah. So what? Just resight in.
Yeah.
But it gives you that option without having to either have a whole different bow or crank your bow down. Cranking your bow down is gonna change your timing then.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're both pretty impressed with the Tritech for sure. Like I said, we both shot it up against a bunch of other stuff, and at the end of the day, it just fits what you're really what you care about.
yeah,
A bow that shoots nice and is efficient and has everything you'd ever want in 31 inches. Um, it's a good length, and it feels like it holds and it shoots longer than 31. And that's why when I
Mhm.
shot the 33 inch, like I was pretty dead set I was going to get a 33, and I shot it, and my first impression was like, man, this shoots way longer, almost like a 35. And I was like, I don't know if I want to hunt with something like that. So then
Yeah.
my mindset was, if the 31 shoots like a 33 or holds good, like it's just 2 inches shorter. I mean, why not? But
And I might, for my own entertainment, I'm not going to be nice to this bow in any way, shape, or form. Just my
I'm not
style of
either.
hunting. My
Yeah.
style of hunting, my stuff gets just wrecked. So it'll be a good testament just to see what I can put it through.
Yeah.
I don't have a doubt in my mind that it'll be fine, but
Yeah. Time will tell. Like I said, we were going to keep this one short and sweet. Why don't you, I go first, you go first. I'll just go down. I kind of did already on breaking mine down, like what accessories I picked and why. I guess I can just go through mine quick and then you can before we end it. But yeah, we kind of talked about why we like a 31. It's just a good length for my draw length. It's about as short as I like to go while it's shooting. A lot of bows now with bigger cams and stuff shoot a lot longer than 31. But this 31 fits me pretty good. I mean, I could shoot a 33 too and probably make it work and shoot really good with it. But I don't see that much of a difference to me. So, but yeah, like I said, 12-inch stabilizer. The Catalyst bars are super nice for the money you pay, in my opinion. Like they are a partner of the podcast, so they've been super gracious in that way. But like I pay for all my own stuff from them. It's not like I'm getting anything for free from anybody. So these Phantom bars are not. They're like a very strong like polymer in their end caps. They're not metal, so they make them way lighter, and they're micro diameter. So it really lets you put weight out on the end, and it influence everything a little bit more just because they're so light. So time will tell on how durable they'll be, not being metal. But I mean, no noise. They're really quiet and super. They let you put that weight out there. I only have 4 ounces out there, and you can tell like it's out on the end. It's not a big beefy metal stabilizer. So I'm liking it so far. I'm really curious. Like the one thing I have on my bow this year that I'm really curious about is this Podium Archery offset bracket. It's the version 3, so it has the quick disconnect ability, which I kind of throw my bow in the back of my truck and leave everything stabilizers on all year anyway. So, but in that case, I want to case it. You know, I can do that pretty quickly. So, yep, 12-inch bar out front, offset an inch and a half to the left. I'll be curious how that holds and shoots for me. And then rest wise, I didn't really get into that like I was going to when I ran everything down, but for a lot of reasons that you kind of talked me into trying it again. I went limb driven for a while. I was always a Q80 guy, and then or like a cable driven. I think I shot at a couple different brands like Ripcord and HHA and stuff before, but just the ability to be able to lock the launcher up when you're like walking or stalking or walking through the woods if you like need an arrow knocked for any reason, just be able to lock that up and not have to, hold it with your hand against your riser and make a bunch of noise and clinkety clank. And like, if you don't have any knock pinch, it's usually fine. Like because like a limb driven, it's in a V and then you draw it back and it lifts up. Sometimes if you have a crappier, like a cheaper limb driven or whatever, it doesn't hold it good. So when you draw back, it clanks around and you can't lock it up. Now there's brands now that have figured that out, and there's some limb driven rests that are coming out with ways to lock it up now, which is good to see. But I mean, the one selling point on the limb drivens was that, you can adjust the tension anytime. You don't have to go through the cable or any of that. But like, in my opinion, when you have this thing set up and locked down, I mean, it's pretty much bulletproof. Like it's solid. I don't see any issues with it. I mean, but I'm fine going back to this. I don't think either one of them is more accurate than the other, to be honest, once it's set up correctly. So running that. And then sight-wise, I am running HHA 2-pin, the Nitrix, which has got the double indicator on it. So once you get it sighted in, you'll have 2 points of reference. It's vertical. So the second pin is on the bottom of the post. So it's kind of the same as their single pins have been for years, but it's just got an extra pin just so in a hunting scenario, you could throw your first pin on 25 yards and then you got another one at like 40. So you can you shouldn't have to really move it, because you get good at this when you shoot a single pin too, is being able to aim off a little bit. Like say it's 5 yards difference than what your pin set at, you can just aim a little low, a little high, and you can kind of cover that 20 to 40 yards with 2 pins. And the chances you have to touch it in a hunting scenario are pretty slim, unless you're hunting out west or field edge or something. But 40 yards usually my max in the woods, so I think this will work out good for me. Very minimalist. HHA is very bulletproof, very, very good stuff. Everything's locked down. All your third adjustment, or all your axes, first, second, and third, are adjustable. But yeah, just simple 2 pins. And then I just went for an ultra from everything, from having a 31-inch bow all the way. Every accessory I have on here is just very like looking at it from a minimalist and very sleek mindset. So, yeah, other than a quiver I still have to get yet, I don't know what I'm going to do there, but we kind of went over our thoughts on those. So, give yours a rundown if you'd like.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm running a 14-inch bar out front. Right now, I don't have. Usually, I'll run an offset front bar that helps keep the weight forward for me. And like I said, just from years of shooting target archery, that I kind of adapt my hunting setup that way. I'll also run weight off the side, and to me, I'll shoot a 10-pound bow if I have to, if it holds good. Really, the weight doesn't really bother me that much more as it would some people, but like I said, that's just me. Yeah, the Ultra Rest by QAD, it's just bulletproof. You really can't. For bow hunting, I mean, I don't know what else you could ask for out of a rest. To me, that's just the bread and butter. Running a CB Trek 3-pin. What I like about that is I'm always been a multi-pin guy. I could never shoot just a single pin for hunting, just because in my brain I always have this what if situation. If I draw back on an animal at 20 yards and it takes off, stops at 40 yards, and either I have to gap shoot it or let down and adjust my sight, where if I have a 3-pin 20, 30, 40, I just am ready to go on the fly. So that kind of gives me like the ease of mind in the woods, where I don't have to worry about it. Everything on my bow, I have a reason for. Over the many years of having mistakes, having an issue, or something, like I will shoot the exact same setup, damn near, on every bow. It doesn't matter, just because I have a system that I like and that I just am confident in every year. Like even that stupid little bow hanger that I made. I mean, it's just little stuff like that. And I'll go a lot more in depth on the video when I actually get this whole thing put together. But for the most part, that's the bare bones of it. There'll be a couple little extras in there, but no, I'm excited to shoot it. Get a couple booners with it.
Yeah, right. I'll be happy with anything. But yeah. Just figured we'd, while we had our bows set up, run them down. I know people are always curious what everybody else is shooting and why, and what their thought process is going into setup. And like I said, I go into a little bit more in depth on how to build the bow itself and all the technical details and everything in the video. I'll post a link to that in the description of this podcast, but if you guys want to check it out, Jesse will have one coming at some point when he gets his arrows in and whatnot. That's pretty much all I wanted to go over. Just a quick rundown of our setups for this year. If anybody has any questions about anything or why we run what we run, or any questions about any of the accessories or anything like that, shoot them our way. We'll try to get them answered. But yeah, quick little gear episode, mix it up a little bit. Not as in-depth of a conversation, but still interesting in its own right. So
yeah,
I know there's a lot of people that like gear and are very gear oriented and stuff, or on the fence of what they want, how they want to set up a bow. And I think honestly, both of us and our setups for what this is for our hunting purposes they're not really that different. I mean, they're pretty similar. So, I mean, I feel like this works with this platform. So maybe give some people some ideas if they're setting one up too. So,
Yeah.
yeah, short and sweet.
Yep. Perfect.
Alrighty. That's all we got for this one.